ANSCO Safety number 35S6. Okay, this is that 16 millimeter film that I was talking about, and I was kind of concerned. I found it earlier this morning, but I was kind of worried because almost 4 years ago, when Mary had to go into a personal care home and there was no hope of her coming back, I went completely through the house and I gave away anything that was worthwhile to the BFM thrift store, and anything that was junk I threw out. And I was afraid that possibly I had thought that because I had digitized this, I might have thought I don't need it anymore and I might have chucked it out, but I didn't. I'm really glad, because it's one of the few things that I've got that I can actually put my hands on that Dad had his hands on way back in the early 50s when I was just a little kid. So it's kind of meaningful. It's well, I do have other stuff. I have tools. For instance, I've got a pair of side cutters here that actually, as best I remember, they used to be my grandfather's. Some of you will remember Oliver Calverley. And anyway, these used to be his. Then my dad got them. Then I got them. And then I've modified them. They're not quite the same anymore, but they're better for what I need. And Grandpa'd be real upset if he saw this. Anyhow, so what I'm going to try to do here with this old faded film is I'm going to put on my macro lens and move in on it and just show you how it has faded. This particular part right here, I can remember when I was a little kid, Dad talking about it, and he was saying something to the effect of, "Look at the beautiful embroidered beadwork on that jacket." Now you can sort of see it if you know it's there. Yeah. It's right at the very beginning of the film. You'll see it. It's the shot that I thought was possibly Mrs. Colley and Geraldine. And Geraldine is wearing sort of a green parka. And it's all fancied up. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stick on the macro lens. And I'm going to zoom right in. And I'll show you what I mean by faded. No, I think what I'm going to do here, being is that the first 4 or 5 frames are kind of kinked anyway, I'm just going to cut them off. It's not going to make any difference. And then what I can do is fasten it to this microscope slide, and it'll be a lot easier to handle. We'll still be able to see right through it. At least that's the plan. Now I am zoomed in here about as close as I can get. Well, actually I can get in closer, but what's the use? I just wanted to show you how faded and washed out this film has become. The sky used to be blue, and and that parka used to be green. Anyway, yeah, this isn't really turning out the way I'd planned, but anyway, you can just see how bad it is. I guess I was kind of worried that you might think that I had, overexposed it when I copied it, but it wasn't. I had the camera adjusted about as good as I could get it, and not only that, then I did a little bit of digital enhancing in the computer afterwards to try and darken it. So that's really too bad. I don't know why that film went like that. I'm going to check it out and see if other people, had that problem with that particular ANSCO film. Yeah, I never had good luck with ANSCO myself either, so. Now, like the old saying used to go, there's good news and there's bad news. Now, the bad news is that this faded part of the film is pretty much the first half. But the good news is that it does get better. But none of it is what you could call high definition. Now, I was just looking at this thing here and realizing, well, two things actually. I should have had it flipped over because I noticed that the box that Mrs. Colley is carrying, it says solo on it, except it's backwards, like looking in a mirror. Yeah, when I was taping the film down onto the slide there, I did want to have it so that the emulsion side was down, in other words, away from you. And that way everything would be correct. However, the film was in such bad shape I couldn't tell which was the dull side and which was the shiny side. And, you know Murphy's Law, I got it wrong. Anyway, it should be solo spelled forward, not backwards. But that's okay. As I said before, the idea was just so that I could show you how the film had deteriorated. But then I got to thinking that, this first little bit here is not what I digitized a few years ago. So I think what in all likelihood happened is I used probably the first couple or 3 feet as a leader in the projector, because I really don't remember seeing it starting until, oh my goodness, okay, right about here. So we got here about 3 feet, and at 16 frames a second. That's probably about, I'm guessing, 10 seconds there. I'm wondering if I should redo this, and I don't have any leader to hook onto it, so maybe what I could do is I could put it into the projector, get it going, and then run it backwards. And then in the computer, then I could reverse it and run it forwards, and it would look normal. Might be able to slow it down a little bit too. Things that I could have done if I had to put a little bit of effort into it. Well, I'll see. We'll see what happens yet today. Okay, just a few minutes ago, I got a call from my son, and he's going to come over later, and he's going to help me put on my studded winter tires. And so I don't know if I'll be doing anything yet this afternoon, but I will get at this, and I'll try and get that first 3 feet digitized, because I think it's probably part of the most important part of this film. Oh, by the way, when I finally do get around to posting this, you better resign yourself, if you go back this far to the early 50s, resign yourself to watching the entire thing, because what's going to happen is the very part that you're going to recognize, if you don't watch the whole thing, you're going to miss it, because it seems that anything that was really important is just a short little clip, and other stuff, it just goes on and on and on. It's probably like my workshop videos. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.